My son's called Thomas and he's 9.5, he's going to be 10 in June, and he's got a condition called cystinosis. It's like, what's the worst news you can ever be told if you've got a child, is that they're not well. And this was going to be a condition that was quite severe. When he was first diagnosed, we got told, people had told us that it was terminal by age 9, so, and he was 18 months, and I thought, no, not my child. And I looked on the internet, and every single day on the internet you found something else that was upsetting about what was wrong, about cystinosis. I feel like I was like treading water, like when you go swimming and you get from one side to the other and you feel like you're achieving something. I just felt like I was treading water. And we had someone who used to come round to see us at the time called Jane Appleby, and she was like chatting away with us and stuff, and then she said, have you ever tried the hospice, to go there? And I said, no, my child don't need to go to the hospice. And so I thought it was going to be awful going there, and in the end someone put a referral in. But we said we'd just go and have a look round, and I went and had a look at the hospice and stuff, and it was an amazing place, and Tommy quite enjoyed himself there. I thought the hospice was going to be a sad place where people was all like there because their children was like going to die, basically, and it's not like that at all. It's a happy place, and really it's where you actually feel more normal than you do when you go anywhere else. You go to a playgroup or mother and toddler, you feel like that's a woman with a poorly child, but you go to the hospice, it's just Tom's just Tom.
I think because we already had an inkling something was wrong. It didn't kind of come out of the blue. We'd been having tests for a long time, so it's more of a relief to find out, but then to find out what he'd got was so rare, that was probably harder, because you knew there wasn't much out there in the way of information, so probably that was the difficult bit, really. He's got a degenerative disorder called Hallervorden-Spatz disease, and it just basically will destroy your body. So little by little, Glenn could walk, talk, do everything everybody else did. Unfortunately now he's unable to do walk, talk, is tube fed and needs round the clock care. Glenn is aware because he's already lost his brother to the same illness. He was 10, so he knows that he can die from this, and he knows that at the moment he is very poorly, and he's well aware of what could happen. So it's been tough, because we've had a really sort of tough 5 months. To be honest, I mean, the fact that I'm still sat here now and he's still alive, we're absolutely amazed, because really that's all due to the hospice. It's a lifeline, simple as. It's been an absolute lifeline. They support us with Glenn physically, they support us mentally, they just support you in so many ways. I probably can't even begin to describe how much they've actually done for Glenn, and more so in the last sort of, I'd say 4 months now, because if Glenn had been in a hospital, he wouldn't have been alive now. I think it's appalling. I think, to be honest, hospices, both adult and children, should be funded 100% by the government because they're needed. They are a recognised service out there, and if they weren't, there wouldn't be so many. You know, they don't get any funding to help build these places, and I think the MPs and things need to come into these places, see what they mean to people like me, just ordinary people doing, you know, looking after our children, and if they could just see what a difference it makes, because there is nowhere else for Glen to go. There's literally nowhere else for Glen to go.
You can't help but be moved coming here. I think it's a very moving experience, which actually more people should have. It's difficult to balance that with the welfare of the kids, but if what the devotion of the staff and the service given to children, some of them in quite heartbreaking conditions, and that's the model I draw, that people need to know outside in the community what wonderful work is being done here, how devoted the staff here are, the need for more equipment and to treat more children and to provide a respite for more parents, because government is always mean. Government will get away with spending as little as it can. If a service is functioning, it'll say let it function and try and avoid its responsibility. So you've got to keep working on public concern, which motivates the politicians. If the public are concerned, public see what's being done, they'll bring pressure on politicians like me, you know, our supporters anyway, but we need that backing to put the case to government. So it's a continuous battle, really.
When you are caring for someone, we do it unconditionally, because that's what we do. We're parents, and you know, I love my son to pieces, and you know, I don't know how long I'm going to get him for, but you know, at the moment he's doing all right, but next week it could all go wrong again, and we could be back here, and that is the reality, you know. And this time next year Glen might not be alive, but hopefully if we can continue the funding, then we can continue to help other people and other families, because even, you know, when I don't use this place anymore, I will still campaign to keep, you know, funding for this place, because it's so desperately needed. And I think until you've been in our situation, you can't ever really appreciate it. It's the old saying, walk a mile in my shoes.
That's true. You've got to continue to put the case though and campaign. We try.
A
treadmill we're on.
Yeah, I know, but all we can do is keep asking and asking and asking and saying, look, we need this money, and we need it desperately, we need it urgently, because again, the financial situation has hit hospices because people can't donate so much. They've not got enough spare cash to keep giving us, you know, and unfortunately some days, you know, the wheels might fall off this place, and it might not be here.
The wheels will never fall off. That couldn't be allowed to happen.
But we say it couldn't be allowed to happen, but we're still not giving any more funding, are we? But the government are not giving us any more funding. We say we won't let it happen, but they're still not getting any more.
Don't
yeah, you don't know.
The wheels won't fall off. It's a problem of keeping it going and expanding it. I mean,
but we can only do that if we get help, if we keep getting funding. Yeah. You know, there comes a point where there's only so much the local community can do. And at the moment, we have a fantastic local community.
I agree.
That are, you know, the volunteers do endless. But, you know, some days that might not be the case. And what happens then? What happens to this place?